Hey, hi everyone. Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Hi Nitin, I am Shiv Prasad. I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So before we move ahead, just to brief you about the agenda for today. So I'll be taking you through the training purview, or you can say the demo session for Simple Finance 1511, where we'll brief you through, what are the training contents and what is Simple Finance as a part of introduction, and what are the prerequisites to enter if somebody wants to learn Simple Finance, because uh, it's a new thing in market. So before we move ahead with what is Simple Finance, let's understand each other. So before I ask you for introduction, let me introduce myself. I'm Nitin. I'm into FICO from last 10 years, working as a solution architect, and recently I have completed, I attended a lot of boot camps and EKT sessions by SAP on Simple Finance. I have recently completed one migration from NewGL existing ERP system to Simple Finance for one of the European customers. So I have real-time experience of Simple Finance, and we recently gone live a month back. Overall my experience is completely into in SAP, where I have worked in FICO along with other integration with other modules like project system, controlling, HR, travel management, and other key areas like MM and SD. So Simple Finance is one of the new area which I have started recently, done with the project. So that's about me. So quickly, I just want to, from each of you, I just want to have your background and expectations from the session along with the name, so that just let's understand each other, and then we will move into the real session. Then I have a few more PowerPoint slides for you guys. So you can go start one by one from in the sequence the Webex is showing. Anybody can start.
Let's start. My name is Karthik, and I've been in the technical side and a little bit of SD and MM. I'm just curious about what's in Simple Finance.
Okay. Thank you, Karthik.
Hi Nitin, my name is Ram. I'm working in SAP ABAP consultant from past 4 years. So I have a question: is this S4 Simple Finance? Is it helpful for me? I mean to say, can I shift, or else do I need to have any FSC or financial background?
Okay, so it is not necessary to have FICO background, but if you have basic accounting knowledge, it should work. And when you say you are a SAP ABAP consultant, so you have extensive SAP experience. So I don't think so. You need any. It should be okay for you to switch if at this point of time, because this is something in development product. So you can shift if you need.
Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you.
Hi Nitin, myself Shiv Prasad. I've been working as a PODS consultant since 4 years. So just I would like to know, I mean, since I'm into technical side, just I would like to know, functional side as well. So
Uh-huh. We have more people. Come on, guys. We have Raj, Muhammad. Jay, George, you guys want to introduce yourself, please?
Hey, Nitin, this is Jay. Sorry. This is Jay, and I'm working in the FSO consultant for a little over a couple of years, and I'm located in Columbus, Ohio right now, and I just wanted to see what Simple Finance hold for me in the future, and what exactly is the future of Simple Finance as compared to FSO right now.
So, thank you, Jay. We will get into
Thanks,
this.
Nitin.
Okay. Anybody else wants to take this opportunity to introduce yourself? It's good, people know each other, and we'll share some experience.
Also, this is Jay again, Nitin. Since nobody is speaking, let me ask you one more thing.
Yes.
How much of HANA we need to know to progress on this Simple Finance training?
Okay, so it's not that you need to know HANA, because HANA is something, a database thing. From functional aspect, if you have a system with HANA add-on and you have FICO knowledge, that's an add-on again for you. So it's not necessary that you know the technical aspects of HANA to get into Simple Finance.
Hey, this is Janardhan.
Yeah, hi,
So
Janardhan.
I'm a developer with some more than 10 years of experience, and I got trained in FSCO. So now I'm interested in this Simple Finance.
Okay. Thank you, Janardhan.
I also would like to know about you, Nitin.
About me? Okay.
Yeah.
I think you missed out. I just introduced myself. So
Oh, sorry.
yeah. So I was into FICO and currently also in FICO from last 10 years. Done multiple projects as solution architect, and then when Simple Finance was launched last year with initial patches and updates. So I attended few EKT sessions by SAP and some boot camps by SAP for Simple Finance, and recently we gone live. I from SAP side, I was engaged in one of the projects in Europe, and I recently completed one implementation for Simple Finance. It was a migration from new GL to Simple Finance. So that's about me. Okay. So before we move ahead, any other question initially you have in your mind? I know a lot of questions will going to come up, when we get into the session and more details. But before we start, any quick question in your mind, on the top of your mind? Okay. So moving ahead, then we have objective of the session. I'll just brief you what are we trying to achieve in this session, and then I'll walk you through the training content which are at high level. I'll not go line by line for the training contents, and then we will get into Simple Finance. What is Simple Finance? What are its highlights? What are the benefits of for customers, and what is Universal General, and some quick things about Simple Finance. And then projects and opportunities. What opportunities are there in the market, and what projects are there and are expected to come up, and what are the expectations SAP has from Simple Finance, because SAP has invested heavily in this particular product, and SAP is banking a lot on this. So what expectations SAP have, because if SAP is confident, then the consultant should be confident. So let's move on. Okay. So I just covered, about quickly about me. So that the same thing which I spoken, my experience, my SAP Simple Finance knowledge. So I have done one S10 implementation and one new asset accounting, which is an ESP7 component, and as a part of S10. So fixed assets is always different. So I have recently completed one fixed asset, implementation on ESP7, which is a new asset accounting, which is a replica of Simple Finance fixed assets. Wherever you have any questions, please feel free to chime in, because your questions should not be filled, and I want you guys to have more and more questions and make the session interactive, so that if one person is asking questions, other will also get the answers to most of their questions. Okay. Objectives of the session. So why we are here today? To provide overview of Simple Finance and to make you understand what is changing. Somebody has raised a hand. So any questions?
Hi. Yes, my name is Chaudhary. And when you said fixed assets you have worked, how different the differences between the old fixed assets and the new Simple Finance fixed assets?
Okay.
And what are the main differences?
So, especially for fixed assets, SAP has changed a lot. When I say lot, previously in existing version it was, if I'll give you a few examples. Depreciation areas were controlled by transaction types. Now in new asset accounting it is controlled by ledger group. This is one example. So like this, SAP has done a massive change in fixed assets, and we will go into detail when we get into training. But yes, this is one of the area which is heavily impacted. The migration strategy has changed. A lot of things have changed in fixed assets. Like in normal version, if you purchase an asset through purchase order, simple system post an entry, simple debit the asset and credit the vendor. But in ESP7, if you do the same thing, SAP needs the adding clearing accounts, and SAP posts like a debit asset, credit clearing, and then another entry, credit clearing and debit clearing and credit vendor. So, and that clearing account it's posting additional document numbers as well. So there are a couple of things at basic level SAP has changed, but from design perspective there are a lot of changes has been come up in this ESP7 version.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we will get into what is Simple Finance and what is changing from FICO to SFIN, and what is coming up in global SAP market, moving from some people have questioned they are already working in FICO and they would want to move to Simple Finance. So what will it take for them to move from FICO to Simple Finance? What can be expected by companies in terms of expertise? So companies, those companies which are already in process of implementing, what are they expecting? So we will talk about that. Scope of Simple Finance. What scope do we see in future? If people get trained and they get into Simple Finance, what is the future SAP is holding for them? So that's one of the key things. The SAP customer base and inclination towards SAP. What customers are saying from SAP and what SAP has planned for Simple Finance, and then we will move towards question and answers. So I'll just try to cover these things, and apart from this, if you want anything to add, let me know. I will cover that part. And most of the things, all your questions will be, we can answer in when we are getting to Q&A. Okay. So quickly the course overview first. This is at high level. Again, when I see in here course detail, each node you will have more details, and that's there in the appendix and another presentation. I can share you with with Kavya, and she can help you getting those. So the course content is SPIN01 Simple Finance Overview. What is Simple Finance? What is changing? What are the plans? Then what is, it was finalized in March, which was known as 1503 release, but recently SAP has updated another, in November, a month back, SAP has given another update to the system, which is 1511 update, which means November 2015. So what are the things SAP has changed again? So we will talk about central finance, new ledger concept, new asset accounting, data aging, central universal journal. So we will talk about those functionalities in detail. Key functionalities. What are the, when we say key functionalities of Simple Finance, what are the benefits customers are getting out of that? It's not only just you implement, but customers are looking at some benefits from the system perspective, from cost perspective. So what are those things which Simple Finance is offering, but existing systems do not? So we will talk about those functionalities. Deployment. When we say deployment, it's about migration from new GL to Simple Finance. Benefits of Simple Finance, and then we have simplification list for S4 HANA 1511 updates. So simplification list is like we will share a lot of SAP notes here. What notes SAP has provided, what are the updates in those notes, what SAP is planning to change. Next release, like simple logistics is in plan from SAP perspective. So what are the integration areas from logistics standpoint for in upcoming areas? A lot of T codes have been removed from existing system like ECC 6. Cost GL and cost element concept is changed. COPA is simplified. So a lot of there is a list of simplifications. What SAP has done recently, a month back in 1511 update. So I will share those things with you, and post training I can share documents as well, which I have from I'll update those documents from SAP and I can share them. Right. So this is the high level content. I have another presentation I can share, which provide more details about each of 1 to 6 number in detail. Before I move ahead, any questions?
Yeah, hi. This is Karthik. You said Simple Finance, and then you said that in PO, while you're posting a PO, you would be having 2 more clearing accounts. Just wondering, how does it make it simple, like adding 2 more accounts, and what is the real reason, or why did they really get on with this? Why was SAP FICO not enough? And why did we have to go for this? That's one question. And second is, HANA, I don't know if it has taken off that well, but what do you think? How many customers have this Simple Finance, or what is the outlook?
Okay. So, I'm sorry. Answering your first question. So, on the face, it looks like SAP has added more work, added 1 more clearing account. Same is getting debited and same is getting credited at the same step. It looks like 1 more addition to account and 1 more extra work, more documents. But if you look from assets perspective, and the companies which are multinationals, for example, now I am in India or in any other country, and my company is headquartered in US, then we have a threshold limits for fixed assets. Now, if I purchase something for let's say 3000 INR or any other value, let's say I purchase something from 10,000 INR, which gets converted into US dollars, so it's around 250 US dollars. So for US GAAP, that is an expense, but for India GAAP, that is in fixed assets. Now, till now there was no solution with SAP for this particular thing. But with this adding of additional clearing account, SAP has given the solution to this issue, that from that clearing account you can move, for one gap or one ledger, you can move from clearing to asset, and for another gap you can move from clearing to expense. So they have added few things, but yes, for there were a lot of issues in fixed asset initially, so they have changed. Like any company having multiple fiscal years, like headquarters is having different fiscal year. Let's say US company have January to December, and India company is having fiscal year April to March. SAP report doesn't work at this point. None of the fixed asset SAP report provide you the non-leading ledger financials, but this has been changed now. This is one of the big win what SAP is looking at, because today none of the report work. All standard report failed. So this is one of the big win what SAP has provided. So SAP has added few things. It's not they are adding, so they are making it complex. But yes, they are trying to resolve existing issues, and which customers are raising them again and again to them. So that's question number one. Number two, SAP is looking the future in simple finance. That's for sure. On YouTube, there is a video from SAP chairman when they launched Simple Finance in Sapphire. So if you saw that, they have clearly said, if this product fails, we are dead in the waters. Means that they have high expectations with this product. They have invested a huge in this product, and as per their report, it's around 52% of the customers who are planning to move towards Simple Finance, who are already they have initiated the projects. 52%, and another 20% are still waiting for few customers so that they can have a real life examples. So it's around 70 to 80% of the SAP customers are inclined towards Simple Finance, because a lot of benefits are being provided. That's number two. When you say some customers have implemented, yes, some customers have implemented. The first implementation SAP did it in their own system. Then in Europe, few customers have already implemented. Wipro have recently implemented Simple Finance, and few more big customers in India also. Asian Paints have implemented. Amazon has implemented US. HDFC has implemented. They are planning now, so they are in the midway. A lot of European customers have implemented. So it is not that customers, and they are getting benefit actually, and word of mouth is spreading. So a lot of customers are moving towards Simple Finance, because in FICO SAP is very robust, but still there are a lot of limitations. Because since there are two modules, different tables, management accounting is separate and financial accounting is separate. So SAP wants to remove those limitations. Two boxes. Now those two boxes are into one. So that's what customers are looking at, and that's what SAP has planned. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. So this is the course content which we will be covering in Simple Finance. Now let's move to Simple Finance. We are talking about high level now. What is Simple Finance? So initially, when Simple Finance was evolved, it was named as Smart Financials. Then they renamed it to Simple Finance. The question is, why they renamed? So their marketing team went to market this product, and they said, we have built up a Smart Financials. So customer said, if this is smart financials, what about ACC? Is that a dumb financials? So the marketing team came back and they asked them to change the name. So they make it simple finance. Then 2.0 is the latest, the release number, and now they have changed the name for, again its name to S4 HANA for accounting. And if you see, on SAP website, they have also changed their own tagline. So initially they used to say the best run businesses run SAP, but now they say run simple. After launching of Simple Finance, they have changed their tagline. So it's run simple now. Enhanced version of ERP system where structure of the system is changed and the calculations of totals are on the fly. So it's an enhanced system. It's not that the system is new. System is existing version. It's existing, only you have add-on 2.0. Database is changed, which is HANA, and now no more totals tables are there. All totals tables are removed from system. Every total is on the fly. That's HANA. That's what HANA is doing. Because there are a lot of tables which stores, some store line items, some store totals, and now only line items are there and totals are removed. So that is less load on database, and everything is on fly, and the speed is good because it's HANA. Available on cloud and on premise. So there are two versions of this. On cloud version is available and on premise version is available. So a lot of customers are going on premise because they already have SAP implemented. They just want to update their existing system with the add-on. So, and if they want to go on cloud, it's entire kind of new implementation, and there are a lot of limitations in cloud. So when they already have the database and everything ready, so they want to leverage their existing on-premise version. So a lot of customers are going on-premise. Massive changes delivered. So we will talk about those changes. Things have changed. Universal General and XDocker table is the key to change. So SAP has removed around more than 30-35 tables in finance, and they have given one table ACDCA, which is XDocker we used to say. So this table stores everything now from financial perspective. So if you compare in present system, we have one table which stores cost element, one table which stores GL accounts, another table stores assets, another table stores material, another stores customers. Now in one table, when you do a accounting or you book an invoice or you post an asset transaction, whatever you do, everything will be stored in one table. So drilling down the data, speed of the data will be fast. So this is one key table, ACDOCA, which is a major change. A lot of tables have been removed with this one. A lot of key codes have been changed. So we will see those key codes later. I have a list of all those key codes. COPA is simplified, so we will talk about COPA as well. So there are a lot of changes have been done in account-based COPA. So we will see those. Highlights of Simple Finance. Revamped asset accounting. So I just talk about that. Simplified the concept of depreciation areas, parallel valuation. Facilitates parallel reporting. I just talk about that by means of ledger approach as well as accounts approach. So we just talk about the reporting part. In existing system, SAP has not delivered any of the report till today. Even on EHP 7, SAP has not delivered any single report for non-leading ledger. None of the report works. So in Simple Finance, SAP has seen that. Classic GL will no more be supported by Simple Finance, as well as SAP is planning to switch it off their support to Classic GL in next couple of years or so, or early before that. And one has to be on new GL to migrate from existing system to Simple Finance. And it's not required that you need to have full-fledged new GL like document splitting and everything. Light version, there are SAP is giving some recommendations that only there are few key things which are required to be on system, then only you can migrate to Simple Finance. So it is there in their implementation checklist that these few things has to be there. So that's a new GL, classic GL. So classic GL will no more be available and no more be supported by SAP. Data archiving, today we have a concept of data archiving. This is going to replace by data aging, and in aging SAP has given two options, hot and cold partition. So hot is something, the recent data, you can define the limit, let's say 180 days or so, or 360 days, it will get stored in hot and will be easily accessible. The moment it goes into cold, you have to access it through different route. So hot and cold partition is there for all your data aging. Lot of things have been changed in cash management. The brand new cash management solution powered by SAP HANA. SAP has specific EKT sessions on cash management, which is initially at this point is a part of FSCM module, financial supply chain, but in HANA SAP has delivered the standard bundle where cash management solution is there, improved version of this. New asset accounting is mandatory. Classic asset accounting is no longer possible in the new offerings. So classic asset accounting is switched off. So if in normal ECC system, if you see SPRO node or configuration node, you will see two asset accounting. One is asset accounting and another is new asset accounting. So the moment you move to HANA, the classic asset accounting will no longer be used. And customers has to migrate from classic to new asset accounting. That's again one of the migration. On the fly summarization of reports from line item. So only line item will be stored in system and no totals will be there. Every total calculation will be on the fly. A lot of key SAP tables have been removed. We'll talk about those tables in a couple of slides. COPA side, things have changed. And new changes are incoming.
Quick question.
Yes.
Do we need to execute the migration? Let's say I'm running ECC Finance on the traditional GL. Should I go to the new GL before moving to simple Finance? Is what you're saying?
So that's what I said. It's not 100% you have to implement new GL, but there are few basic perquisites before moving to Simple Finance. You have to check those perquisites and light version of new GL you have to do. Then only you can migrate from classic to Simple Finance. So
okay,
it's not 100% new GL is required, but there are few mandatory things which has to be there for new GL. Then only you can move.
Are we going to look in detail those kind of light version? Maybe you have some information about that.
We will share in more when we get into more detail of the training. I will share what that light version means. What are the key things which we have to check before moving to Simple Finance.
Perfect. Thank you.
We will have that. Yes. Few changes are coming up in material ledger. When I say material ledger, things in logistics is going to change, and Simple Logistics is one of the things where it will be integrated with Simple Finance, and all your modules like SD, PP, logistics, supply chain, all those will be merged into one now, which is Simple Logistics. That product is still in coming up phase, but things will change from that. So more changes are expected, and that might impact Simple Finance also. So Simple Finance will also get into another update after 6 months. So that's one of the key things. New changes are coming up. So SAP has promised changes every 6 months in this product. So if you know the base, you can easily catch up the change. So it will be easy, if you learn Simple Finance what is today, so you can catch up with what is SAP provides. SAP provides notes and documents, and then you can catch up with what SAP has changed. Let's say 100 things, and then SAP has changed 5 and added 10, so you can catch up easily. Any questions? Okay. Okay, Universal Journal. So this is one of the key and a major change what SAP is bringing in. So till now, if you remember, if you post something, SAP posts two documents. One is a FI document and one is CO document. So the Universal Journal Entry is the unified data storage, but for both financial accounting and the management accounting. It contains all the relevant accounting data, details about, for example, customer, vendor, asset, products, regions. This means all the accounting data is always available at the same time for analysis in each report, and that is Universal Journal. So if you see today, if I post a JV, GL entries, I don't have vendors. I have to go in different tables. If I post asset transaction, I cannot run GL report for those. COPA is separate, products and regions are part of COPA. So now Universal Journal, everything is there in one table. All characteristics of the of your accounting are going in one table. So since those are stored in one table, it is easy to get out from those tables with the help of report and all. So that is what the Universal Journal is talk about. It contains all accounting data. When I say all means everything, including your bank information, tax information, assets, customer, vendors, CO document, everything is into one now. Financial accounting and controlling are continually being reconciled since it is one table. As a result, you can carry out your month-end closing more quickly. All accounts, even the secondary cost element required for controlling, are portrayed uniformly as GL accounts. So in today's environment, if you see, only primary cost elements are, GL accounts are only primary cost elements from FI to CO. But secondary cost element only sit within CO. They don't touch FI. But in future, secondary cost element will also be a form as a normal GL account in FI. So if you do anything in secondary cost element, that will be replicated to FI, and finally your FI and CO will be, or you both management accounting and financial will be reconciled. A journal entry is similarly created for internal clearing such as cost assessment and distribution. So secondary cost element, this is one of the key changes you guys will see. Today only primary cost element are replicated in FI, and that's why we face issue, right? When we do something in secondary cost element, that does not reflect in FI. So my management reporting and my financial reporting, in terms of number, it is same. I have 100 here and $100 here, but the distribution of that 100 might be different in controlling. It says 25 into 4, but in financial it might say 50 into 2. So that will be exactly the same now, and so it will be easy for the reports and for the dashboard thing. So the people who are there in the session and who are from FICO background can understand the change, right? The first one and the second one. This is a massive change. Any questions, thoughts? Yes, Kapil.
The secondary cost elements would be represented somehow with the GL account in simple finance. Can you give an example how it could be, how it's going to portray, where is the debit and where is the credit going to be?
Your voice is too slow, Kapil. I could hear the first part only.
Well, I was wondering the secondary cost elements you mentioned, how are those going to be accommodated with the GL account?
Okay. So how are primary cost element today accommodated with GL account? Every cost element, primary cost element has to be a GL account, right? In present environment. Same will be for secondary in future. So the moment you want to create secondary cost element, it has to be a GL account in system. Then only you can create secondary cost element. And the purpose of this is to ensure that your financials and controlling is reconciled and your month end closing MEC time is reduced, and you are not spending time on reconciliations, and your dashboards and reports are up to the mark and accurate.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? I expect a lot of questions because this is the new product. Everybody is in the learning phase. Even I am in the learning phase. You know, when SAP provides update, I do read a lot of documents from SAP and get up to speed what things have changed. So they gave something in March, then they update in November. Now they are again planning to update in March. So we have to be ready for that. Kapil, you have a question?
Changing that frequently, how do you accommodate, how the customers are accommodating all these changes?
Okay. So they are not changing the base product. So what they are saying is we have delivered the product in March, which says Simple Finance 1503 system. Customers implemented that. Now they given 1511 update. Only thing they have added few more functionalities. Now, so if the customers are interested, they can implement. If the customers are don't want to invest at this point, they cannot. But you know, updating the system, existing 1503 system to 1511 is not that complex. It is just adding few notes, SAP notes to the system. So it is not that complex.
One more question I'll be asking later, but I was just planning to ask right now as you have given me the floor here. How long are you guys having this training for?
You have to speak louder, Kapil, sorry.
Well, I'm asking how long is the training from Genentech on S4HANA?
Okay. So, Kavya, are you there?
Yes, Nitin.
So, Kavya, this is a question for you.
Yes. Nitin, I'm so sorry I was not there in the session, but I just heard my name and I could join in.
So, Kavya, the question from the candidate is, from how long Genentech is there in Simple Finance training?
This would be the first batch for Simple Finance. As it is a new skill, we just started the batch, and this would be the first batch, Nitin.
And how long would the training will continue?
I'm sorry, Kapil, I didn't get your question.
The question is, how long is the training time?
So the total duration of the training is 45 to 50 hours, or which would be approximately 1 to 1.5 months. I would say 4 to 5 weeks, as there would be 3 sessions in a week: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Got it? Guys, do you have any questions for me?
Okay, thank you, Kavya.
You're welcome, Nitin.
Okay, so Raj, you have a question. Can you explain in some diagram, MS PowerPoint, not FI expert? So, Raj, what is your background?
Anything. I'm on a business object puzzle, BO reporting.
Okay.
And I have gone through the training of HANA, and I'm doing some work in HANA. And I gone through the training in BW and also BPC, but I haven't used those BW and BPC anywhere in the. I'm just like 1 year in this field in the SAP world. Before I was Java developer.
Okay, so
like when you say the primary cost element and then the secondary cost element, like you can like if you put some kind of PowerPoint presentation, like explain that will be a little bit more.
right.
I mean, helpful for me to understand, like instead of because I don't know the term. If you have a figure, I can figure it out. Like these are the things. That's what.
Okay. So, since Raj, this is just a highlight for the concept. That's why you don't see much details on the presentation at the moment. But when we get into more details of the training, you will get all those PowerPoint presentation and markups and everything. So just
Okay.
yeah, so just to explain you, since you have already raised the question. So in present environment in ECC, there is a concept of primary cost element which takes the data from financial module to controlling module, and there is a secondary cost element which is only within CO module and it does not touch FI. So there is a kind of primary cost element appears both GL in FI and in cost element in CO, but secondary does not appear in FI. So this is what SAP is saying now. Secondary will also be similar as primary, so that both the modules can be reconciled. So that's a simple answer in the basic terminology.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raj. Okay. Any other question?
Nitin, this is Ravi.
Yes, Ravi.
Nitin, actually I'm from business by design background guy. Recently I'm moving to this ECC. So do you think something I need to know before starting this simple finance, like ECC, something I need to go into that one before starting the batch for this one?
Okay. So before I answer your question, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why you want to move from business by design to S4 simple finance?
We have few projects coming up, so my company wants me to learn this product.
Okay. So since you already have SAP background, it is not required that there are no perquisites for this. The only perquisite is you get the training and get in the real hands-on project when your company is offering. So training is the basic perquisite. Before you land up to the project, you should have the basic understanding of what functionality is all about and what system is all about. So there is no perquisite as such that before learning this, you should be aware of this. If you are aware of basic concept of SAP and basic accounting concept, it should be fine to move ahead with this simple finance.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. More questions?
Hey, Mohammed.
Yes, Muhammad.
I have a quick question. You said you did one migration project.
Yes.
So, what's the duration of that project? How long will it take if moving from ECC to S4HANA?
So the project start right from planning till in the go live. It was around 6.5 months. It will take.
Okay, and for right now, simple logistic is not there. You have so all the your supply chain, customer relationship, and everything else is sitting in the different box. How that's affecting simple finance?
So currently, since there is no change in logistics module like MMSD or anything, so simple finance is integrated with those. So that's what I said, when SAP is giving updates. So now let's say when Simple Logistics comes and company plans to implement Simple Logistics, so then SAP will give update of Simple Finance also, because then the new integration aspect will come into picture. So presently, only finance areas are changed. So SAP has well-versed integration like from Simple Finance to other existing ERP logistic module, but the database is again HANA, so it should not be a problem.
So we're doing interfaces. So if I'm creating a sales order in SD, right, and my billing is happening, the invoicing is happening in Simple Finance, do I have to have an interface going from ECC to HANA?
No. It's not interface. System is all ECC only. It's you have implemented add-on for finance. It's existing system only. So what will happen is when we will get into details and see the system, you will see in SPRO the configuration node, you will see there is an add-on folder which says SAP Simple Finance add-on 2.0. So system is same. It's only then add-on SAP has given. So it's not that you have to interface data from sales order data from ECC to Simple Finance. It's within the same system. It's only that structure at the FI side has changed. Now if you post an invoice in Simple Finance, the tables used previously will not be used and the new tables will be used. The Docker table I said. So it's only new T codes will be used, new tables will be used. It's not like it is interfacing. It's not like that.
Okay, so but the old system, it's not HANA based, right? So do we need to do a migration for HANA first?
So this is the one of the perquisites. If you want to implement SAP Simple Finance, your system has to be on HANA. So you have to migrate from any ABC database. You have to come on HANA. So your existing entire landscape will be on HANA, and you implement Simple Finance. So HANA is the basic perquisite.
Okay. Okay. It makes sense now.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. So interesting question. This was a very, very, very good question. Any other question? More questions coming up. More session get interactive, and it helps me to drill down things. And you get out answers. Yeah.
Yeah, Janardhan here.
Yes, Janardhan.
Is this add-on to existing FICO or it is a entirely new thing?
So add-on to, you can say, when you say add-on to FICO, it's not add-on to FICO, it's add-on to the entire landscape, entire system. Yeah.
So what will happen to the existing all these FI tables like BSEC, BKPF, all these things?
All those are scrapped now. So you have to do the migration. So that's what the migration talks about. You have to do GL migration, you have to do asset migration. So the moment you migrate data from existing tables to the new tables, and you are all on Simple Finance, and old tables will no more be used.
Okay.
It's not that 100% table have been changed. Few key tables, which people talk about handy, so those have changed. Like in new GL, we say Fagel Flex and Fagel Flexa. Those have been, and VSEG, and a lot of tables have been changed.
So migration means entire this FI processes and CO processes?
Yes.
I think this is right.
That's the only project. So when you say Simple Finance, so when you implement HANA database, your add-on comes into, on the screen, the button. But you have to migrate data from existing new GL system to Simple Finance. So that's the only project, the migration project for the existing customers. And presently the scope is good in market because there are no people. Companies are looking for the people who have expertise or who have at least understanding of Simple Finance, because there are no people today. It's entirely a new thing. Kapil, you have questions?
Nitin, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. The question is, are you going to be one of the teachers here, instructors with Gerantech, or
Yes.
you are just showing the demo?
No, I will be taking the session.
Okay, if you don't mind, what is your SAP experience? I was late to join the party basically.
Okay. So let me share my SAP experience. I'll just share one slide. Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
So I'm into SAP solutioning from last 10 years for FICO, and with experience in other modules like project systems, Ariba integration, SDMM, HR. And from simple finance perspective, I have attended EKT sessions, boot camps by SAP, and completed one project and another project on new asset accounting implementation on EHP 7. So that's my experience in SAP.
Well, thank you, Nitin. My second question is, are you in the part of this training, are you showing the migration or you are teaching the accounting?
When you say, are you showing the migration?
Are you teaching the students how to migrate from the existing system to the SAP to HANA and Simple Finance, or are you teaching what is SAP, how the GL works, or how the controlling works, and how COPA works?
For first question, yes. Second question, no. So I'm not going to teach what is FI, what is CO, but yes, basic I have to cover because you might not have that expertise, understanding existing system. But yes, the basic idea of this session would be to
migrate.
You learn the migration from FICO to Simple Finance.
Okay, and then you have every possible, like two different systems. You can show point to point that this is the data going from the old system to the new system, and this is how you compare things.
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Yes.
I couldn't hear, basically, that's why I was asked. Okay, thank you very much. I think I got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Nitin, I have a question.
Yes.
So to learn simple finance, so do we need FICO knowledge? Actually, I don't have FICO knowledge, so do we need it?
What is your background?
I am a BODS consultant. I mean, I'm into technical side.
Okay. So it's not that you need to learn FICO, but yes, if you have basic idea of FICO, it will be good. But it's not mandatory to you have to have a FICO background.
Okay. And one more question. So, what is the difference between Simple Finance and S4HANA? Just only the names, or I mean, is there any difference in terms of tables and
In my initial slide, I covered initially the name Smart Financials, then they make a Simple Finance 2.0, and now it is S4HANA for finance or accounting. It's just a name. S4 is simply suit for business. S4 means suit for. HANA is the database, and last term determines it's accounting or logistics or what.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey Nitin, this is Mohammed again. So do you have a course material?
Sorry?
Do you have a course material?
I do have.
Okay. And one more thing. So the part, data migration part, are we going to use LSMW there?
So it's not that so when we say data migration, it's not migrating from from legacy to SAP. So it's within SAP, just changing the table. So that's different strategy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes.
So how can a guy without experience in FICO module can do just this in a migration from existing?
Jonathan, you have to be louder.
Yeah. How can a guy without experience in FICO model can do justice in migration from existing ECC to S/4HANA?
See, when you say without FIC knowledge, it's not, I will give you a brief background. When we start migration, I will give you how FI tables looks like and what data gets stored, and it's all table level migration. It's not that I'm going to have an accounting and will block you where because you don't know accounting. So it's all table level migration. I will show you how existing accounting document looks in normal ECC tables and how the same document looks in HANA table or simple finance table. So it's all table level and all steps are, and the steps of migration and entire thing does not require any FIC knowledge. Basic would be required, so I can recommend you some books or I can share some material so that you can go through that and that will help you. So that should not be a problem.
No. So, okay. After migration, what next? For a guy coming without hardcore FICO functional experience. Like me, I'm a technical, but I work a lot in FICO and other models.
Sorry, say that again.
See, I'm a ABAPer, worked in a FICO model, but after migration, okay, now you say it is a simple migration, migrating from tables to existing ECC tables to simple finance tables. But okay, after migration, then what are the expectations? If the
after migration, the entire system would be on simple finance, so you can get engaged in support. Since like in FICO we have support mode, so you can support simple finance since you have done the migration. So you are aware of all the aspects of the system. You know what changes have been done.
Okay.
Nitin, this is Ravi. I have a question.
Yes.
So after migration, how about the old tables? Are they going to remove completely, or it's like a readable mode only?
Readable only. Readable because there is an impact on your existing customizations also, right? So all those will be in the read-only mode. No data will be posted to them. They will be free.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the future, no one can post transactions to those tables.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Moving on. Benefits.
No.
Yes.
Okay. When you said the migration project in a 6 months time, how many company codes and the real-time data, how many real company codes, live company codes, I would say, has been moved in that 6 months? And what would be the approximate, how many records could be moved?
So they had around 25 to 30 company codes.
What's the size of the volume of the database? I would say how many records in a company code, how many it's million, 500 million?
Per company code records differ because if I say 1 million per company code, it will be not right because it depends if the company is headquartered, if it is a small country with less business, so it should not be a justice. But overall, it was around the entity.
I'm asking you about the real scenario where you have worked.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So I can give you, there were around 28 company codes, and the company is the number of records. I have to see, what they have a good number of records. It was a Swiss company, manufacturing company. Yeah.
Manufacturing.
Yes.
Okay. And when my next question would be, how many? I would say the SAP has segregated so many documents as a simple finance as like 100, 105, 110, 120, What are all the subjects you are going to cover?
Okay.
I
covered.
SAP has segregated that into AC 100, AC 110, AC 105, AC 120, right?
Right.
So how many topics are you going to cover it up?
So if you see my initial slide where, hold on, let me come to that. Okay. If you see this slide, so most of the things from SAP are covered.
All about 1503 only. It's most of it is 1503. It's most of it is only about the migration part.
No, migration is, if you say migration, it is number 4. So that's migration. Simplification list is different number. I don't remember the number. And then number 2 is something else with SAP number. So they have their own standard, certification material. But we will try to cover most of the things, from that material perspective.
So are you going to cover the new aspects of the asset accounting and especially the banking side of it?
Sorry?
And banking side, banking in the sense.
Cash management?
Yes, cash management I will cover.
Yes.
I will cover cash management.
How about
are you
IBP?
going to cover Fiori?
Which one?
Fiori.
Fiori.
Because yes, Fiori.
Fiori, I may not cover Fiori because that is something, again an add-on to, that is just a change in user interface. So
yes.
It's just a user interface. It does not have any impact. Fiori can be used without Simple Finance also. So Fiori is altogether a separate topic.
Yeah, but cash management is only interface only through Fiori, right? It's not interface to any other.
So
it's not
that part we will cover. Right. So that part we will be covering because that is you can say a topic dependent thing. So that we will cover.
Okay. Right, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So quick benefits. User experiences change. Real-time financials are reconciled. Decision making and prediction simulation is quick. Totals are on the fly. Simpler IT strategy and pricing. From database perspective, the pricing is reduced and the maintenance cost for a heavy database is, from IT perspective, this is a benefit given to the customers. So this is just, a kind of, infrastructural benefits, what Simple Finance is providing from infrastructure perspective. And this benefit directly goes to actually CFOs and IT teams because they leverage the cost and they leverage the IT strategy with, changes in the system landscape. So this benefit does not come to end user thing. Okay. Now the key thing for people who want to learn Simple Finance and want to get into Simple Finance. Projects and opportunities. A lot of projects coming up in market and European market has already started implementation. America's also moving and recently SAP launched this product in Gulf market also. And in Asia Pac also projects are kick off. So if you see most of the geographies are covered, and they are going into this particular area. And a lot of consulting companies like IT, IBM, Accenture, and all those consulting companies are involved in POC. They are building, you can say, a demo system to, for their sales calls and all. So they all are involved in POC at the moment. In India also, few projects have been kicked off. Europe is one of the key market as of now where, projects have been kicked off. In US, it is expected that by in next 2 months, the project will be kicked off because at this point, it was an year end for them. So IT budgets have been, shut now. So the new budgets are planned for this particular migration, and SAP, as per SAP, a lot of customers are already planning to move towards this product. So a lot of opportunities are there, and there are less people in the market, so it is good. As early you learn, as early you move. So these are the projects and opportunities. Okay. Q&A.
Nitin, I have a question. So when you say migration, so what method do you use to migrate data from Pico to Simple Finance system?
When you say what method, what does that mean?
Method means in the sense of migrate the data from existing Pico to Simple Finance. I mean, HANA.
It's not. There is no specific method. It's all configuration and execution nodes which SAP is given. So within that, system does that migration. You have to just trigger and give the logic, and system does that migration. It's not that you have to upload something or something like that.
So okay. Because you mentioned, you said like there were tables changed in Simple Finance. So do we need to take care of any like a transforms? No, to change the.
No. It's within table, so within system. You have to do the mapping. It's within system. No upload program, something like that.
Okay, it's just kind of mapping.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happened when we move from? My voice is coming back. Mute yourself. So what happened when you migrate?
I guess someone is informed.
So okay. So what happened when you migrate from Classic to new GL? There is no upload. It is within system. All migration does. That's what you migrate from new GL to Simple Finance.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Nitin, this migration can functional consultants do, or we need a technical consultants also, like above us help something?
To some extent, we require technical, but most of them is functional.
Okay. Are there any country-specific changes, Nitin, in Simple Finance?
Yes, country-specific things are there. So we will share the notes. SAP notes. SAP has delivered the country-specific things as well.
Okay.
But yeah, changes. If you see overall changes from existing system to Simple Finance, yes, massive changes have been done. So the person who is working in FICO today has to, and there is no choice actually for the people who are in FICO. If they want to continue in SAP, they have to learn Simple Finance, because at one point of time companies will move.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is Karthik. Yeah, so how long do you reckon? I think it's a pretty tough question to answer, but I do have some SAP background. How long does it take to grasp some of these FICO concepts? And do you think it's better to grasp these concepts first and then get into the training, or what do you think about that? So that's my first question. The second question is, yeah, as it says, like, as every technology company is moving towards the cloud and towards the simplifying the databases. I know FI has like a quadrillion tables before, Now with simplifying this, that also means the workload is also less. That means you need less and less people. So what do you think about on that aspect? So yes, 2 questions.
Okay. So number one, yes, if you have basic understanding of FICO, not at table level but functional, it will be good to have, but not must to have. That's number one. Even if you continue with simple finance and you parallelly you go through some documents for FICO, it should be okay, not a challenge. Number two, when you say simplifying the database and companies, yes, companies are investing at this point in database management to ensure that their investment is less in database for future. But from people perspective, it should not change much, because people are deployed not from database perspective, the size of the company and the number of modules they have implemented. That's what determines the number of people. If company is a big company having it depends on the users. Users will be same, things will be same. So if there are 10,000 users and it needs 100 consultants to support them, that should continue. It should not move from 100 to 10. It should be somewhere around 100 to, you can say, 95, or it might also increase, because initially in early few years, yes, this number will increase because system will be new, users will be new, consultant will be new, and everything is changed. So more issues, more support. But till the time things got stabilized, SAP will come up with something new. So SAP will change again, in few years. So that is something, ongoing process for SAP, and should be ongoing process for companies, and should be same for consultants. So it should not have, you should not see much impact from people perspective. It's from database because investment in database is huge. That's what companies are trying to avoid, maintenance and all those things.
Nitin, this is Ravi.
Yes.
When companies are moving from Oracle database to this HANA database, so is there any specific space-wise criteria that SAP is providing, or is it free of cost?
It all depends, what negotiation you do, but it is not free of cost. It is, if you want to move on-premise version or on cloud version. But yes, because the entire SAP feature strategy is dependent on database, so companies are bound to change the database, because SAP is not going to support any other database after few years. So companies have the right time to change their database, and since they are changing their database, they are planning to implement simple finance, so that it's not only database, they leverage the entire all functionalities within that database. It is kind of for companies, it is no choice. SAP change, they have to implement, because SAP doesn't support other release.
Okay. So that means they are providing up to certain space on HANA platform. After that, company needs to buy.
Yes, they have to buy.
Okay. Thanks, Nitin.
Okay.
Yeah, one last question. Sorry. So for those, again, I'm just talking on behalf of the non-FICO background guys. So in order to understand the flow between SD, MM, the material valuation into FI, and invoices, what do you recommend? How do we, is it better to know that before we get into this, or like if at all we need to know where do we start?
So to understand that, there are a lot of documents available, because FICO is something existing from last 20 years. Google is full of all documents from how FICO works, MMSG integration, standard integration, everything. So there are a lot of documents available there. So you can go through that and have a basic understanding. That's number one. Number two, you can connect with Kavya. If she is okay, or if she has somebody else in FICO, we can have one at least in our session where we can give you brief background of how basic FICO works, and then you move to simple finance planning. So that's all depends.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. But yeah, all right, thanks.
Hey Nitin, this is Kapil here again.
Yes, Kapil.
The question, the Kavya was saying it's about 45 to 50 hours of training. Do you think that way too?
40 hours, yes, because it's like we will have presentations, we will have system demo, then practice, then assignments. So
okay,
like that, yes.
Okay. And you said you have done one real practical project yourself. You can give practical experiences, huh?
Yes, I'll share my practical experience with you.
Okay. And if I may ask, where do you work?
Me?
Yeah.
I work as a freelancer.
Freelancer?
Yes.
Right now, are you involved in a project or?
I'm supporting Simple Finance at the moment also.
Oh, for Genentech?
No, for one of the customer, the real time project.
Okay. Thank you. And when did you say the class starting?
So that Kavya can confirm dates and all, because she has the entire calendar.
But as far as you are concerned, is the class already started or
no,
it will be starting?
It's not yet started. It will be started.
Okay. Thank you, Nitin. Thank you very much. And you can are you in a position to share this demo with the students here today, or?
I will talk to Kavya and she will share it further with you guys.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Nitin, Janardhan here.
Yes.
This Simple Finance and SAP HANA implementation is prerequisite for Simple Finance. That's what he said.
Yes.
So hardly very few companies they went implemented HANA because of the cost.
Sorry?
No, because of the cost involved in implementing moving to HANA from the legacy ACC system. Very few companies have implemented HANA.
Yes.
Yeah, very entire system. So,
yes.
So then even the opportunities for Simple Finance also very few.
So previously it was only HANA. SAP was not offering any benefit in addition to HANA. It was only database change. But now with Simple Finance, SAP is offering additional things. They say if you implement HANA, you can leverage Simple Finance. So that's why now companies are trying to move, because it's only database change. They are not happy. If they get something else, they say changes in your finance landscape, and then CFOs will be happy with the dashboards and all. Those guys get happy. So that's why now trend is changing and companies are moving. Okay. Any other question?
So you are based out of Europe or India or US?
India. No questions, guys? Okay. Then I think we are good. Yes. So Kavya, over to you.
Hi Nitin, I'm Charan from Zara Technical Support Team. Kavya has left for the day. So if we have concluded the session, can we end the session here?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay. I guess so hope all of you have enjoyed this session, and this video recorded will be shared with all of you, and Kavya will be sending an email with the video recording and the class schedule details. Thank you so much for attending today's demo session. Have a good day.
And are you going to get the class recordings?
Yes, you will get this demo video recording.
How about the class?
It will be updated by Kavya.
Okay.
Yes, you will get all the session video recordings once you enroll with us. We will share a blog with you. The blog will have all the session video recordings once the session is complete, within 24 hours time. Yes, you will have access for the blog and the recordings for up to 6 months.
Okay.
These are only view access. You will not be able to download or share it with anyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Any other questions, anyone? All right, I guess we are done. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for attending. I hope you had a good session. It made sense. We will wait for your feedback. Do let us know. Thank you very much indeed. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nitin.